Rickford Burke states no attorney's letter from Sheriff Security CEO was served to him. In a social media publication he stated, "The Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy, CGID, has noted false media reports claiming that attorneys for Amir Ahmad, CEO of Sheriff Security, served a demand letter on CGID President, Mr. Rickford Burke. We wish to clarify that no such letter has been served on Mr. Burke. A demand letter, purportedly sent on behalf of businessman Amir Ahmad of the Sheriff Group in Guyana, seeks a full and complete retraction of certain publications by Mr. Burke, accompanied by an unqualified apology. However, CGID asserts that Mr. Burke has not been served with any such letter. Let me be clear. Rickford Burke, CGID, or its members cannot be intimidated or silenced by East Indian racists and ethnic supremacists within the People's Progressive Party, PPP, said Richard Millington, ESQ, JID's Director of Communication. CGID further reiterates its previous statement without fear of contradiction, alleging that Sheriff Security and its owners are under investigation by federal law enforcement in the United States. The management of Sheriff Security is aware of this ongoing matter. Additionally, an individual connected to the company's CEO has reportedly been stopped and interrogated by federal agents. CGID does not condone or apologize to racists. Not now, not ever. Not even if hell freezes over. Devastating fire destroys storage bond on Essequibo coast, causing estimated $100 million in losses. A massive fire broke out early this morning at the storage bond of Sanker's Trading Auto Sale in Erie Hall, resulting in approximately $100 million in damages. The blaze, which erupted around 03:15H, completely consumed the storage bond before firefighters could reach the scene. The bond, located behind the home of business owner Tony Sanker, was a repository for valuable items, including 2 unregistered trucks, 3 canters, 1,500 used tires with rims, various car engines, and new all-terrain vehicles, ATVs. Unfortunately, none of these items could be salvaged before the fire engulfed the structure. Mr. Sanker recounted the shocking experience, explaining that he was asleep when a neighbor called to inform him that his storage bond was ablaze. "I was shocked when I received the call. By the time I rushed out, the fire had already spread, and there was nothing I could do to save anything inside," Sanker shared during an interview. The loss is especially devastating for Mr. Sanker, as he revealed that the storage bond was uninsured, leaving him to face the full financial impact of the incident. Additionally, he noted that the facility was powered by solar energy, but it remains unclear whether this played a role in the fire. Firefighters arrived at the scene, but by that time, the structure was already completely engulfed. Despite their efforts, the fire left behind only charred remnants of the once thriving storage facility. Investigations are currently underway to determine the cause of the fire. Authorities have yet to identify any specific origin of the blaze and are working to assess whether foul play, electrical malfunction, or other factors may have contributed to the incident. This incident has had a significant impact on the local business community, as Sanker's Trading Auto Sale served as a vital resource for automotive parts and supplies in the region. The loss of valuable stock is expected to have a ripple effect on the availability of automotive parts and supplies for local customers. The business community and residents of Erie Hall have extended their support to Mr. Sanker during this challenging time, while eagerly awaiting the results of the investigation to bring clarity to the cause of this devastating fire. 2 men charged with animal cruelty for killing pet dog in Quarantine, Burbus. A U.S. citizen and a local carpenter have been charged with animal cruelty in connection with the killing of a pet dog in No. 63 Village, Quarantine. Kemraj Ramdas, 71, a U.S. citizen residing in No. Village, Quarantine, and Farad Jarawan, 25, a carpenter from No. 64 Village, Quarantine, appeared before Magistrate Tuana Hardy at the No. 51 Magistrates Court on Wednesday. They pleaded not guilty to the charge under Section 176(1) of the Summary Jurisdiction Act Chapter 802, as amended by Act No. 10 of 1998. The charges stem from an incident on October 11, 2024, where it is alleged that the 2 men killed a dog belonging to Gomatai Coardio. Coardio clarified in court that the animal was her pet and not a stray, and a post-mortem report conducted by a veterinary officer was provided to the police as evidence. Initially, the charge incorrectly identified the dog as a state-owned animal. However, after Coardio's statement, the prosecution amended the charge, and it was reread to the defendants, who maintained their not guilty pleas. According to Prosecutor Corporal Fiona Simpson, Ramdas admitted to killing the dog, and there was an eyewitness to the incident. The court heard that the defendants allegedly cut the dog's neck and disposed of its body in a nearby canal. Prosecutor Simpson objected to bail on the grounds that one of the defendants could be a flight risk. Despite the objection, attorney-at-law Rodwell Jagmahand, representing Ramdas and Jerawan, argued that both had been granted station bail previously and had appeared in court as required. Jagmahand also noted that Ramdas, who has been in Guyana since July, intends to remain in the country unless he needs to travel for medical reasons or to maintain his citizenship. Magistrate Tuana Hardy set bail at $120,000 each, acknowledging that the charges carry a potential penalty of a 6-month prison term and a $15,000 fine if convicted. The case has been adjourned until October 23, 2024, for a police progress report, with the trial scheduled to begin on October 30, 2024. Police seek public assistance in identifying armed robbery suspects involved in Panda supermarket incident. The police are requesting the public's assistance in identifying 2 suspects involved in an armed robbery at Panda supermarket, located in Westminster, West Bank, Demerara. The suspects, both armed with firearms, are believed to have committed the crime against Joe Jabin, a 45-year-old businessman, on September 26, 2024, at approximately 2012 HRS. According to reports, the robbery took place at the lower flat of the supermarket. During the incident, the suspects stole 2 cell phones valued at GYD $264,000 GYD $500,000 in cash from the business premises. Witnesses reported that the suspects entered the supermarket, with one jumping over the counter and brandishing a firearm at the victim. The suspect then removed cash from the register, while the other suspect beat the businessman with a firearm and stole the phones from his pants pocket. The suspects fled the scene on a red and black electric scooter. The police are urging anyone with information that could lead to the identification and apprehension of the suspects to come forward. Any details, no matter how small, could be crucial in solving this case. Body of 66-year-old pensioner found in advanced state of decomposition in Brighton Village, Burbus. Newsroom reports, the body of 66-year-old Shrimati Dowlat, known as Layla, was discovered in an advanced state of decomposition at her home in Lot 3 Brighton Village, Correntine, Burbus, on Monday, October 14, 2024. The discovery was made by her niece, Jasodra Sigobin, also known as Jamin, who found the remains around 1700 hours HRS. Dowlat, who lived alone, was known to have diabetes and frequented the Port Morant Hospital Clinic. 2 weeks ago, she was admitted to the New Amsterdam Hospital and later discharged to return home. Concerned after not hearing from her aunt, Sigobin visited the residence and noticed a foul odor coming from inside the house. Upon further inspection, she found her aunt lying on her back on the ground, with her body in a state of decomposition. Local police reported that while the body showed signs of being affected by decomposition, no visible marks of violence were observed. Authorities have removed the body to the Skeldon Public Hospital, and it has since been transferred to Anthony's funeral parlor, where an autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Investigators are treating the matter with sensitivity given Dowlat's recent health challenges and are working to piece together the timeline leading up to her passing. Community members have expressed their sorrow over the incident, noting that Dowlat was a familiar face at the local clinic. The family, friends, and community of Brighton Village are mourning the loss of Shrimati Dowlat, and her niece is cooperating with the police to assist in the ongoing investigation. Deputy Commissioner of Police, AG, Calvin Brutus seeks judicial review amid high-profile investigation. Newsroom, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Acting, Calvin Brutus has filed a legal challenge in the High Court, seeking to overturn decisions made against him in relation to an ongoing investigation into alleged financial irregularities. The legal action names multiple respondents, including the Attorney General, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Police Service Commission, Commissioner of Police, AG, Clifton Hicken, and the Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU. The legal application, filed on October 16, 2024, is being handled by Brutus Legal Team, comprising attorneys Earl Daniels, Euborn Ollycock, and Dominic Bess. Brutus contends that his rights have been violated during the investigation, including being denied access to his personal accounts, which has hindered his ability to conduct business. He also claims to have faced victimization throughout the process. One of Brutus' key arguments is that Acting Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken overstepped his legal authority by transferring Brutus based on what Brutus alleges were political directives and improper administrative procedures. According to the application, the transfer was aimed at providing Acting Deputy Commissioner Ravindradit Budram with administrative experience. Brutus is also challenging the legality of a decision made by the Cabinet on July 11, 2024, directing Hicken to place him on annual leave in light of the ongoing allegations. Additionally, he disputes a subsequent directive by the Police Service Commission to send him on leave effective August 22, 2024. The legal filing further seeks a declaration from the court that Soka's investigation has been unlawfully and prematurely conducted. Brutus alleges that this includes actions such as the restriction of access to his and his family's bank accounts, the alleged manipulation of evidence, intimidation and harassment of witnesses, and the unauthorized release of sensitive information to the media and social media. Brutus contends that the investigation has been inherently biased and irreparably tainted due to extensive media coverage, which he argues has influenced public perception. He further asserts that his right to natural justice has been compromised, claiming that the allegations against him were vague and that he was not given a fair opportunity to present his side. The case raises critical questions about procedural fairness and the proper exercise of authority within law enforcement, as Brutus seeks multiple declarations from the court to address what he views as improper actions taken against him during the course of this high-profile probe. Mayor of Lyndon raises concerns over health risks linked to Noitdacht Access Road amid increased traffic. Mayor Sharma Solomon of Lyndon has voiced serious concerns over potential health risks posed by the Noitdacht Access Road, which is set to serve as the primary route while construction of the new Mackenzie-Vismar Bridge is underway. At a press conference today, Mayor Solomon emphasized the urgent need for addressing the condition of the road, highlighting the risks associated with the materials used for its maintenance. For over 2.5 years, the Noitdacht Access Road has reportedly been maintained using materials that contain toxic elements. The mayor pointed out that the thick dust generated by vehicles traveling the road daily poses a growing health risk, especially with the anticipated increase in traffic. The residents of Lyndon have long relied on this access road, which has become a lifeline for our community. As traffic continues to rise, it is unfortunate that this road in its current state is inadequate to handle the volume and is now a serious public health and safety concern, Mayor Solomon stated. The issue of the road's toxic materials was first brought to the attention of the town council last September by Councillor Wainwright Bethune, a senior environmental officer with the Bozai Bauxite Company in Lyndon. Councillor Bethune conducted tests on samples taken from the road, revealing a high concentration of toxic elements that could pose risks to the well-being of residents. Samples collected and shared demonstrated high concentrations of toxic elements in materials, which pose risks to the well-being of citizens, Mayor Solomon added. The mayor raised the matter with Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgehill, during a stakeholders meeting held last Saturday. However, Minister Edgehill reportedly declined the request to upgrade the road, instead offering to implement measures to suppress the dust. Mayor Solomon has urged the minister to reconsider his decision, stressing the need for a more comprehensive solution to ensure the safety of Lyndon's residents. I would like to urge the Minister of Public Works to reconsider the decision and work in the best interest of the community. We cannot compromise the health and safety of our residents. A proper upgrade and capping of this road is not just an infrastructural issue. It is a matter of protecting the environment and public health, he said. In response to the concerns, the Ministry of Public Works issued a statement last evening, asserting that there is no evidence of a toxic threat to residents from the materials used on the Noitdacht Road. Minister Edgehill indicated that the ministry, in collaboration with a representative from the town council, has collected new samples from the road for additional testing. These tests aim to determine whether the materials contain trace elements that exceed the Environmental Protection Agency's, EPA, recommended levels for residential areas. Government to challenge Assistant Commissioner Brutus court action, maintains stance against police corruption. News source Guyana. The government of Guyana has reaffirmed its commitment to combating corruption within the Guyana police force, as it prepares to contest a constitutional motion filed by Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo announced that the government will address the matter in a high court, emphasizing that the administration has no intention of shielding corrupt activities and will respond to the legal action initiated by Mr. Brutus. Assistant Commissioner Brutus filed a constitutional motion challenging the decision to place him on leave to facilitate an ongoing investigation into allegations of money laundering and other financial crimes. The motion also disputes the legitimacy of the investigation itself. In response, Vice President Jagdeo stressed that the government will not shy away from addressing corruption allegations and intends to provide a thorough response in court. We have no interest whatsoever in covering up these matters. If you did illegal things, you will face the consequences, Vice President Jagdeo stated. From all that I have read, a lot of wrong things and illegalities took place, and so we will respond to the constitutional motion in court. Our affidavit may not be in the best interest of the individual concerned, as it will include the detailed findings from the procurement system when he headed the administration of the police force. The investigation into Assistant Commissioner Brutus was triggered by a report from the Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, submitted to the Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, of the Guyana Police Force. The findings led to a broader investigation into allegations of money laundering and other related crimes. Vice President Jagdeo highlighted that SOCU's recommendations for charges to be filed against Mr. Brutus should dispel any claims that the government attempted to interfere with the investigation. Jagdeo also addressed concerns about a businessman reportedly covering the costs of Mr. Brutus' wedding, a matter raised during the SOCU investigation. Government has never sanctioned any policy where businessmen can pay for birthdays and weddings of policemen or other public officials. Such practices are reprehensible, he declared, expressing concern over reports that over $8.5 million was provided by a businessman to finance Mr. Brutus' wedding. Brutus' financial activities came under scrutiny after it was discovered that he allegedly deposited over $45 million in cash into one of his bank accounts, claiming the funds were received as wedding and Christmas gifts. In statements to SOCU, Brutus allegedly revealed that the acting commissioner of police advised him against using his own money for the wedding, suggesting that he would have friends and contacts cover the expenses. Vice President Jagdeo emphasized the People's Progressive Party's PPP stance against corruption, whether within the police force or in any other sector. The PPP will not tolerate corruption in the police or anywhere else, and when we find it, there would be no attempt to cover it up. If you believe that you have a special relationship with the government that will lead to a cover-up of your misdeeds, you are mistaken. You don't know the PPP, Jagdeo said emphatically. The court proceedings are set to continue as the government prepares to present detailed evidence of its findings. Vice President Jagdeo reaffirmed the government's stance that transparency and accountability must prevail in the investigation into Mr. Brutus' actions. 3 individuals remanded over alleged illegal aircraft landing and drug trafficking in Region 9, Guyana. 3 individuals were remanded to prison on Wednesday, October 16, 2024, in connection with an investigation into the alleged illegal landing of an aircraft and drug trafficking activities in Bashazan Village, South Rupununi, Region 9. The incident, which reportedly took place on October 6, led to the arrest of the suspects on October 8. The defendants, Robintain Pixoto Saraiva, a 48-year-old Brazilian miner from Boa Vista, Brazil, Hamlet da Silva, a 53-year-old self-employed man from Bonfim, Brazil, and Achiwab Village, and Evander Phoenix, a 27-year-old miner from Achiwab Village, appeared before Principal Magistrate Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where the charges were formally read to them. Saraiva was charged with illegal entry into Guyana and pleaded not guilty. He was also jointly charged with da Silva for conspiracy to traffic marijuana and cocaine at the location. Both Saraiva and da Silva denied these charges. Phoenix faced similar charges of conspiracy to traffic drugs and also entered a plea of not guilty. Attorney Bernard da Silva, representing the 3 accused, requested bail, arguing that Saraiva's aircraft encountered mechanical issues, resulting in an emergency landing rather than intentional illegal entry. He emphasized that no narcotics were found on Saraiva or in the aircraft, further noting that Saraiva lacked a passport because he had not intended to land in Guyana. The attorney added that Saraiva posed no flight risk, with a friend in the country willing to act as a guarantor. Attorney da Silva further contended that Hamlet da Silva was asked to assist with mechanical repairs for the aircraft and was unjustly implicated. He maintained that Phoenix had similarly been contacted for help with repairs. The lawyer claimed that the plane was en route to pick up mercury in Venezuela for mining operations, insisting that the charges were baseless and that the accused were not a flight risk. The prosecution objected to the bail request, citing the seriousness of the charges and evidence of conspiracy to traffic drugs. The prosecutor presented information suggesting that the police had acted on intelligence about an illegal airstrip. When police approached the area, they observed da Silva and Phoenix assisting with Saraiva's aircraft. The prosecutor reported that the suspects attempted to flee upon the arrival of the authorities and highlighted that the airstrip was prepared hours before the aircraft's illegal entry. Concerns were also raised about Saraiva's lack of a fixed address in Guyana, calling into question his likelihood to appear for future court proceedings. After considering the arguments from both sides, Magistrate McGusty denied bail and remanded the defendants. The next court hearing is scheduled for October 29, 2024, at which time the disclosure of statements and reports is expected. The investigation began when police received information about a suspected illegal aircraft landing in Bashazan Village. Senior Superintendent Raphael Rose, along with officers from the Guyana Police Force and the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, responded to the scene. Upon their arrival, they discovered a 3-mile-long illegal airstrip and the aircraft in question. Witnesses reported that as the police approached, 2 individuals exited the aircraft and entered a pickup truck, which fled the scene, resulting in one of the suspects falling from the vehicle. Despite police efforts to apprehend the driver, he escaped across the border into Brazil. During subsequent interrogation, Saraiva reportedly revealed that the aircraft had been chartered to transport mercury for mining purposes. He stated that he had flown from Brazil to Venezuela before landing in Guyana. A search of the aircraft uncovered several electronic devices and personal items, though no illegal substances were found.